Hey friends, did you know that Medium Curious is brought to you by VerySoul? VerySoul is a platform where everyone can receive a free mediumship reading. And it provides us... What? Yeah, free. Really. And it provides a safe place for mediums in training to go practice, but also practice.
Yes, mediums need practice.
Yes, we do.
But did you know that VerySoul upholds vigorous standards for their working mediums? By requiring compelling evidence in every session, they ensure consistent, reliable, and meaningful experiences for every client. So go to verysoul.com, mediums you can trust.
Hey everybody, I'm Jane.
And I'm Sarah.
And you're listening to the Medium Curious podcast, where sometimes the sound of silence is a little bit more like an extremely charismatic medium on 9th Avenue in Manhattan.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I know who exactly you're talking about.
Oh, you do? Who is it?
Yes, it's the one and only evidential medium, Joe Perreta.
Crowd goes wild.
Yeah, so good. Let's go talk to him.
Oh my God, you won't say anything more about him? We're going.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey, Joe.
Hi. Thanks for having me, you guys.
We are so excited to have you here. And this is kind of inappropriate to say, but I just think you're a cutie patootie.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you. It's the ring light that I have. It's all light. I'm well lit. I appreciate that. You too.
Aww.
Both of you.
And we're friends with the lovely Liz Enton, who... who we've had on our show before, and well, a little complicated. She's had us on before, but things went awry.
Oh,
as technology does.
Oh, it happens. Please excuse the rain on out my window right now. I live in Manhattan, and I don't have a quiet room in my entire apartment. So, for anyone listening, you're going to hear all of 9th Avenue. So I really do apologize.
9th Avenue in the house.
The second we hit record, someone's has a drop top and reggaeton just blasting at the window, under my window. It happens.
Oh, that's super fun.
Yeah.
It's all good. Not worried about it. 9th Avenue can be here with us. How long have you lived in New York, Joe?
My whole life, 36 years.
Wow.
I'm a New Yorker. Yeah, I'm a New Yorker. I grew up, I was born in Queens. You could tell from the accent, I'm sure it's there. But, oh my God, it's getting worse. I'm so sorry, you guys. There must be someone with a radio under my window. I was born in Queens, and then my parents, me and my mom moved to Long Island. My dad stayed in the city. Me and my mom moved to Long Island when I was 5, I think. And then I did most of my growing up there, because then my dad moved back. Yeah, it was a whole, family drama, obviously. What's life without a little bit of that? And then when I was 20, actually in college, I moved to the city for a year. I lived in the city. And then when I graduated with a degree in music, so no job is basically what I'm trying to say.
I have 2 degrees in music. I get that.
Yeah. It was, I don't know what job I thought I was going to get, but I didn't get it. Whatever it was. I didn't expect to talk to dead people for the rest of my life. And then I moved back to the city, permanently. I think I was 25, 26. So, I've been here at least 10 years now, at this stretch. But, my whole life, I'm a New Yorker, born, raised, through and through.
Sweet. Love that.
Yeah.
I love that town.
Well, I first heard your name probably about 9 years ago. You gave my friend a reading after her son transitioned into spirit.
Oh.
So her son transitioned in 2015, and you did a reading for her, I would say a year or 2 after that.
Was it
I think
good?
Laurelyn Jackson had recommended you to my friend.
Oh, okay. Laura recommends me to people. It was a good reading though. It was.
It was great. It was amazing. Yeah, and it was so sweet, and it was really helpful for her.
Oh, good.
So
good.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Well, thank you for telling me. I always thank people, and I really truly mean this. I don't even just say it. I am so thankful when people give me validation about a reading, or if I hear you did a reading and it helps someone so much, because truthfully, the only validations I get are when I'm doing the reading and they're like, oh yeah, I understand. My mom always wore, purple or whatever, whatever the thing is.
Right. Yeah.
I rarely get the follow-up. So it's always so, because sometimes I'm like, I'll be sitting here, I'm like, am I helping anybody? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, am I doing?
Yeah.
But so thank you for telling me that, because it really means a lot to hear that readings help heal people, because I know that pain.
Oh, yeah.
It can just be soul crushing. So even 1% of it, to help, it means a lot.
I think there was even something too in that reading where you had said that her daughter was going to be published, and her daughter, I think, probably was only like 4 or 5 at the time, but within that year or the year after, she had written a little story that got printed in a community magazine.
Wow.
So when it happened, Eliza was like, check it out, she's published. Just thought this would happen. I was like,
oh my God, I love that.
So good.
Listen,
so
they always
cute.
know on the other side. I always tell people I could be wrong. If anything's wrong in a reading, it's my fault. It is never them.
Yeah.
It's just me misunderstanding what they're showing me. Like that. That's the only way that happens. If I'm like being a dummy and I'm like, I don't know what this means, or I interpret it a little bit wrong.
Yes, I hear that.
And you're Forever Family.
Yeah, I got certified through Forever Family. For those of you who don't know, Forever Family is a nonprofit organization. They test and certify mediums so that people who are grieving, a lot of people with the foundation are unfortunately bereaved parents. So it's kind of heavy stuff at the Forever Family events. A lot of people who are in early grief, or not that the timing matters, but early grief, so you're getting used to it at that point. But it never really goes away, but that's a whole other discussion. But yeah, they certify people, and I will say, I'm not trying to brag, but brag.
But
most people don't pass that test. When they test you, your mediumship, it's like, you are, the people that you're reading are trained to not give you any information at all, to not really react. It's yes, no, maybe, I need more. You read a bunch of people virtually. It's not even in person. You don't know who they're going to be. You get their first name. I don't even know if it's their real first name. I'm not sure if they even use like it is completely anonymous. And then they grade it. Like, it's not even just like, oh yeah, that was good, put them in. Like there's certain points you have to be accurate, but you also have to be specific. Because I could give you 100% accurate reading and be general as hell. You had a grandmother, she had hair, she loved you. Duh. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, you're amazing. You're so good. So it's not, and I didn't know at the time that everyone fails the test. I just thought, like, because but I was so grateful, like, and so fortunate when I first started that I have a cousin who's a professional astrologer. Her name is Marie D. Simone. She's fabulous. And she's friends with, I don't know if you know who Kim Russo is. She's another very famous, very, very good medium. So she introduced me to Kim and Doreen Malloy, who's another, they're both Forever Family mediums. And that's how I met Laura Jackson. And they all just kind of were like, oh, you're great, we're going to vouch for you. And I was like, what? Me? So they kind of, they made me, Doreen specifically made me apply for, Forever Family. So I was very fortunate. I had some really good, reputable, skilled people kind of have my back in the beginning. So I will say I'm spoiled. I didn't have to try. Like, I wasn't out there hustling, being like, somebody let me read you. I was just kind of like, all right, I guess I'm going to do this.
Obviously, you've got the stuff. You've got the evidence.
I must have something. I'm doing something.
Yeah, that's right.
So I really appreciate you talking about the, I love that you called it an audition. You're in Manhattan, like everything's an audition, but yeah. But like that process is super, super interesting. So our audience comprises of a lot of like up and coming mediums and people who are already in this beautiful craft. And so I'm sure that, I've thought about it too. And I think I heard it was extremely hard, and I was like, maybe not. So anyway, I love that you went through that process and that you were successful. And
I didn't know that. It's funny, but Kim, after she heard I passed, because they knew that I knew her. So when I passed, they told her, and we were out to lunch one day, and she was like, oh, I didn't want to tell you, but nobody passes that, right? And I was like, thank God you didn't tell me, because I would have been, can I curse on this podcast?
Of course.
Yes.
I would have been shitting a brick. Like, because I was young too. Like, I had just started. I was only doing this about a year. I think it was like 23 or 24 when I got certified, maybe 25 tops. I don't even remember if I was doing this for a year yet professionally. I'm so glad that I did it before I knew anything about anything. I just kind of like went into it blind, because I feel like if I did it now, I'd be much more nervous, and I know who the mediums are, and they're all so good. Like, I didn't know who the hell anybody was at the time. So, almost not beginner's luck, but beginner's luck. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know, so I kind of went into it just doing my thing without any kind of fear. But I do urge anyone listening, if you really want to, we're always looking for new mediums. If you are ethical, evidential, which I'm sure everybody listening is ethical, but I will say you do have to be, if you're just starting out, you might want to wait until you're really comfortable with the ability, because they're looking for people really performing consistently at a very high level. But it's so worth it. It's so, I mean, listen, you don't make money, but it's not even about the money, just the people you connect with. I mean, every year I do at least one grief retreat, and I always leave exhausted, yes. Because it's a lot of hard work, and it's very heavy. You're transmuting a lot of really heavy energy. But it always reminds me of why I do what I do. Because if you do this work, again, anyone listening, you guys, like, that you'll have stretches of time where you're like, I don't care if you're going to buy the red car or the blue car. If your daughter gets into, Brown or Stanford, it doesn't, like, she's going to be fine. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you get these sort of mundane things where you're, these readings where people are, and I get it. I'm here to help, and I'm happy to do so. But then when you get someone who you're really healing, you're like, okay, this is why I do what I do. And Forever Family is always a very big reminder that, there are bigger problems in this world, and we're here to help. So that's why I say yes to as much as I can on a selfish level.
And the stakes are really high when you're working with people who have lost children or recent loved ones, because you need to give them that proof that their kid is okay, that they're all right on the other side, and they need to be able to believe you. They need to believe in the integrity of what you do. So
it's very true, very very true. Happy stuff.
So, maybe tell us how it started too. I mean, you said that you got certified like within a year of doing this professionally, but how did you in your late teens, early 20s become a medium, or were you always?
So I definitely was always a medium. I'll try to give you the abridged version, but I have a couple of stories. So I was always a weird kid. I come from, my family's Italian, like we're from Naples and Sicily. So like everyone's very witchy in that culture. Like it's just who's seeing grandma, who has a feeling, who has the evil eye, and we need to do like a little thing with olive oil to get rid of it. Like I grew up around this. Meanwhile, I was the only one who was skeptical, mind you. I'm the one doing it like publicly for a living for my whole life. And I was the only one who was like, do we just all have like the same mental illness? You know what I mean? Like we had like a shared delusion. I had to rule it out. So actually, when I fully realized I was psychic, was I actually dreamt about 9/11, like the weekend before it happened, like in detail, to the point where I was afraid to leave the house. I wouldn't let my mom leave. My dad is disabled, so he couldn't really leave on his own. So I didn't have to worry about him. But my mom, I was like, you can't drive anywhere. It was crazy. And I wasn't a kid like that. Like I left my mother alone pretty much. I was good. But yeah, I just knew something bad was going to happen. And I had basically this dream about a plane hitting a building. Like I was on a bridge. It was the city. Like the scene from my dream was on the television when I came home from school that day. I walked in and I was like, Mom, this is exactly what I saw. Like it was insane. So at that moment, I was only maybe 12, I think. I'm born in 89, so it was 2001. So that's 12, right? Something like that. My math is bad. I think I was 12 at the time.
Depends when your birthday
I was a kid. You know what I mean? I was a baby. Like, what a heavy thing to kind of experience.
Oh, yeah.
It left me really scary. So it left me not only knowing that I was a little psychic or maybe had a little something, which I kind of knew already anyway. I felt very connected to something. Like that's really the important part of that experience for me, was that I was like, there's something bigger. Like I could almost feel all those people who passed, and like I guess my spirit guides at the time, or just spirit in general, was like letting me know this was going to happen. And I just had that sense of like this bigger connection between everybody, that it was more than just I can see things before they happen. Does that make sense? But I didn't really understand it. I didn't have the language for it, so I just felt it, which is more important. So then, time went on. I was a teenager, so all I was worried about was like smoking pot and drinking. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't really paying it. And then I came out at like 19, so I really was not paying attention to any of it. But it transformed. It went from me kind of having these very visceral physical experiences to one night I prayed. I was like, God, please, I can't do it anymore. Every time I dream about somebody, they're dying. Like I don't want to. So I was like, if you're there, So they stopped. But then as a teen, it came back, not as dreams, but just sort of like I would know stuff, which is how I get it now. And I prefer that because it's a little bit more separated, even though it's like I know it, but someone else told me, even though it might be about myself, which I prefer to experiencing it in a dream and then waiting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't always love that. But then again, like I said, I came out, I was figuring, my own stuff out. So I really wasn't in it. And then when I graduated from college, I went to Hunter College in the city. I moved back home. I mean, there was no prospects. The internship that I had, the one job I could have got, they moved their offices to LA. I worked for the record label EMI, Capitol Records. And they moved all their stuff out there. So I was like, well, I'm not that enthused about working there. So I'm not going to leave my whole family behind to work for minimum wage in Hollywood. Like, what the hell is that about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there was no other leads. So I was kind of just home doing nothing and feeling not great. I went from the city back to Long Island. I was living my best life. Now I'm just at home with my parents who are great. We get along, but still.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I going to do? So I started meditating a lot and doing yoga, on demand, like direct TV yoga. Because I had no money. I couldn't go to a class. So it was just me in my room all day long. And I was like, I got to stay sane somehow. So I had this crazy dream right after I bought this psychic development ebook series. It was the same woman who taught John Edward, the very famous medium.
Oh, yeah.
She taught him astrology. She taught him kind of the basics. So I bought her ebook series and I had this dream that it's going to sound so nuts, but I was trapped in an emerald, which was weird. And there was this guy who he looked like Merlin, like a wizard or something. And he was laughing at me. And I was so distressed, like in agony, so afraid. And he was just almost laughing at me like, you idiot. I always compare it to like when you catch an animal to tag it to make sure that it's going to be okay. And they don't know, you know what I mean? They don't know what's happening. They're petrified. Like, what is this creature who's trying to kill me? And then you release them and you just watch them. And I kind of felt like that. And when I came out of the dream, I called him the Alchemist, never having heard of the book. I didn't know that book existed. It just was the name that I gave him. I felt like that's who he was. So anyway, to prove it to myself, I went to this medium who did readings in a store in my neighborhood on Long Island. And I was like, all right, if she mentions anything about alchemy, even hints at it, I'll know that this guide is real. I'll know he's one of my guides. I sit down within the first 2 minutes. She said, my guides are telling you to read the book, The Alchemist. I was like,
yes.
Excuse me. I could have been honey, your job is done. You don't even need to tell me anything else.
Yeah, pay you extra.
What? And then the rest of the reading was so good. But after that, I was like, well, what the hell's this book now? I didn't know it was a book. So I read the book, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to this or watching know the book by Paulo Coelho. If you don't know it, go read it. It's quick, easy read, but the message is so insane. And the character, the alchemist in the book, was exactly his purpose was to open people's eyes and basically make them more psychic and pay attention to the signs. And that's what this guy told me when I started meditating and I connected with him, that he was there to help me get on my sort of psychic path and learning about the universe. And I was like, and he looked exactly how he looked in the book. It was crazy.
Wow.
So I was like, this is, insane. I guess this guy's real. And then I read actually that this is the one book, because Paulo Coelho's written so many books. Oh my God, this guy's got 15 books or something, maybe even more. This was the only one that he sat down and sort of wrote in one session, his first draft, and submitted it. And he said himself that he barely wrote it. It just kind of came through him. And I was
just channeled, right?
My God, the alchemist is real, people. I'm telling you, it's a real entity. I don't know where, I don't know how, but that is a real thing for sure. So that's how my journey got started. And then from then, I just kind of, I had so many other crazy things like that happen, but how could you fight with that chain of events? You know what I mean?
Right?
I was just all right, I guess I got to do this. And then I just started it unfolded, it just all fell into place for me. Thank goodness.
So you said that you were a skeptic. Were you still skeptical at this point when you were having all these experiences?
I wasn't exactly I can't say a skeptic, I didn't believe in it, because I had grown up around it, and I had my own, experiences even before the 9/11 thing, little things. I saw my grandmother. So I knew it was there, but there was always this part of the back of my mind that was again, maybe we're all related. So maybe we all have this crazy gene or whatever. But then once I started testing it, I was like, okay, this is obviously, this is not psychosis. I also went to a therapist to make sure I wasn't cracking up. Early 20s, that's when schizophrenia sets in from men.
That's right.
So I was like, let me rule that out. And then I ended up reading her in my first session. And like, it was so funny. Like, I gave her mother's name. I told her where she scattered her ashes. She was like, well, we know you're not crazy. She was like, but your family is. She was like, so you can keep coming and talk about that. And I was like, yeah, I think
still work together.
we have a lot of other work to do. As far as the mediumship goes, you are golden.
Wow.
But no, you know what? I was more skeptical of myself, I should say. Like, it was just more of a, do you really think you can do this kind of thing? Like if you're going to do it, you got to be sure you're doing the right thing and be responsible and ethical about it. And I'm still like that. Like, I'm always second guessing myself. Not in a reading, but more so like with my own life. I'll be like, all right, if you're really telling me that, show me like a bluebird today. You know what I mean? Like, just just to make sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's very good to have I wouldn't say skeptical as far as like not believing that it's there, but if you're not there yet and you don't know, I don't like to use the word believe, but you don't know that there's more, it's good to kind of get some validation and evidence. That's amazing. But once you're there, it's always good to be, I hate to use the word skeptical because I feel like that just means that people don't believe, but in the sense of like, we can't take everything as a sign, right? Like I'm going to say something that's going to probably piss a lot of the people who follow me on social media off, but like a lot of people will tell me because I do Instagram lives every Tuesday, and I just started doing TikTok lives because I'm trying to get out there. I can't be anti-technology forever, right?
I follow you.
Oh, you do? Oh, thank you so much. I'll follow you back. I'll look.
There's nothing to follow for me.
I'm so bad. I don't really like pay attention to anything on there. But people will message me after my lives, and they're like, "Oh my God, like there were so many orbs tonight." And sometimes I'm like, if you could see like my blinds and how dusty they are right now, and how my camera is like right next to them, you probably wouldn't think it's an orb. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I mean by skeptical. Like we can't take everything as this like monumental sign from spirit. Like, sometimes it is just dust in a camera. Sometimes it is just the radiator. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by I shouldn't say skeptical, but we have to be sort of
discerning,
pragmatic.
There we go. I was going to say smart about it, but I like discerning. That's better. We have to be. Yeah. And not that there's anything wrong with thinking that everything's a sign from the universe. I feel like that's a wonderful way to live, but it can lead you astray sometimes, because then you're only following that and you're following a piece of dust. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good.
Right.
You know, I heard you say, I think it was in the last day or so, something that really resonated with me that made a lot of sense. And you were saying that you're seeing a trend of people just jumping onto bandwagons, believing in stuff, where every individual needs to have their own experience.
Yeah, correct.
In order to have a knowledge of the divine, you need to experience the divine, rather than just learning about the divine, being told what the divine is, and taking it for face value. You have to have your own experience,
right? And I'm so glad you saw that. The message is getting out there. Because I'm big on astrology. Like I said, I have a cousin who's an astrologer, so I'm always following it. And for anyone listening, or for you guys, or if you might be interested, the planet Neptune went into Aries again for the first time since the Civil War, which is so interesting given the political climate that we have right now. Just saying. For that, it was in Aries when who was it? Henry. Whenever the Protestant church sort of started, like, or when the king split from the Catholic
schism.
Church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, started his own, and he was the king of the church. So there's always this theme with Neptune and Aries, but Neptune rules religion, and I'm seeing it, like you said, I'm seeing it myself, even on social media, like for like Gen Z, even, for example, and the younger part of that generation, or Gen Alpha, if that's the next one. I'm kind of seeing them return to some like traditional values a little bit, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'd love to be a trad wife and be home, like, cooking for my man. That's great. Like, I don't want to go to work. Fine. Like, I'll do things whenever. Pay for me. But I think they don't realize what comes along with sort of obeying or going along with some kind of strict dogma. The danger in that, and not thinking for yourself, and not having your own religious or experience with the divine. Because most almost all religions actually come, I think they all do come from direct experience, mystical experience, spiritual experience. I saw God, I saw this person, I saw that person. Most of the saints have had that happen if you pay attention to them. Most religious leaders have a direct relationship. And I think that is the most important part of kind of faith, spirituality, even religion. And I think a lot of religions don't want you to know that, that you can do that. And our society is not set up for that. I mean, I don't want to get like conspiracy theory on your podcast here, but I think that the powers that be kind of don't want us thinking for ourselves. And it's just consume, just listen to what I say. It's just kind of part of our sociological makeup for a lot of people. And I that's why I'm trying to spread this message, just, to the 700 people who saw my reel. I hope it landed. Because it's important. We have to do that now. Now is the time to have your own experiences. And it doesn't have to be like I went to the top of a hill and I saw God and he pierced my heart with a spear or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be that dramatic. It could just be you're meditating in your living room and you feel something, and you know what I mean? Like, or you got time in reverse. Like, it can be a little bit more mundane. We don't have to go the distance. You can if you want to. That's great. But
Right. Yeah.
No, I love that. And we talk about that on here a lot. And that's actually part of our pitch really for mediumship or even developing it, is because I'll speak for myself. That is one of the ways that I feel most connected, is when a spirit is chatting to me and I'm saying stuff that I have no relation to or any context for. Like you're saying, like which color car, and then that she wore those earrings that were really long and always caught in her hair, or just like some random shit. And I'm like, I don't know where this is coming from. And then I have all the body sensations and just all the juiciness that mediumship brings.
Right.
But also, like, and this is something that Sarah really pitches and something you just said, which is like, in our little bodies, in our little worlds, we are having our own divine experiences, and we can have them all day, every day. Walking the kid to school, standing on a golf course, which is my whole life, all these places where we get to go like, whoa, this is me and I am here and that is what, and it is running me, or whatever, just whatever relationship conversation you want to have. So anyway, I love that you're pressing that out, and I love that you're pressing it out in a like, hey, let's just wake up. Come on, guys.
Take
like, yeah, exactly. Like,
Actually, I have a story about this. It's very appropriate for what we're talking about. That happened right before COVID. And it's just, I'm telling it because I want people to know that they can do what I did. So right before COVID, I had, again, for my astrology people listening, I had my Saturn return, which everyone has between like 28 and a half and 30. It's basically when in astrology you're considered like an adult. Saturn forces you to get real about something, about your life, whatever. So for me, that expressed itself as doubting my abilities, which was nuts because I was already working for like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years in this, maybe even longer in this field. And I was like, oh my God, what if I've been crazy this whole time? So I had a moment, right? Doubting everything, but I needed to. It was necessary because I jumped in the deep end without doing a lot of research. Like I had so many powerful events push me forward. And then I was like, wait, but I never looked at the science. I never heard the counter arguments, whatever. So I was doing that. And one of the things I was like, all right, so I'm on board now with spirit, but like, what about like source or God? Like, I need a little something.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere with this. So one night I was in bed, like just stressing out about all this, right?
Oh,
so I was
baby.
Like, right? Poor me.
Yeah.
Poor 30-year-old me, little baby.
Oh.
So I was like, God, if you're listening, I was like, tomorrow, I don't care what you send me, just make it clear that like you're there, and I'm never gonna bother you again about this. Just like please.
oh.
So the next day was my best friend's birthday, who I lived with at the time, my friend Anna. She's like my sister. We've known each other since we were 16 years old. We go to Italy every year together to like see her family. Like I was just visiting her dad in the hospital yesterday. Thoughts and prayers for that man. He's doing better. Let's hope he keeps doing better. So it was her birthday the next day, and she texts me when she's at work, and she's like, keep your plans open tonight. And I was like, well, it's your birthday, idiot. Of course my plans are open. I was like, you still haven't told me what you want to do. And she's like, I know what I want to do. I got tickets to something. Just meet me at this address. And I was like, why are you surprising me on your birthday, you big weirdo? I was like, okay. Now, mind you, she's very psychic. I rubbed off on this girl. She's such a witch. She could put me out of business. So, like, 8 o'clock rolls around, and I purposefully didn't look up the address. I just called an Uber and let the surprise happen for her birthday for me. So I show up, and I'm outside of her church. So I said, Anna, where are we going? Is there like a restaurant around here? She said, no, we're going in there. It was like this beautiful cathedral, right? It was downtown. So I'm like, still not realizing what I asked. I forgot what I asked the night before, right? Now I'm sitting in the church, and it's this like, I don't know if you guys are in New York at all or like know about the, they'll do those like candlelight concerts in churches. It's like an orchestra.
Yeah.
So it was one of these, and I think it was Beethoven maybe or Mozart. It was one of the two, which is like so right up my alley. So I'm sitting there like so excited. Our other two friends and Anna are like falling asleep, and I'm like a kid, still not realizing that I'm in a church after I asked God to let me know that he's around, or she is around, probably she.
Definitely.
So I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, yeah, right? Like, I can't imagine. No offense to my people, but so I'm sitting there, like, listening. I had I was really struggling with, like, mortality and death at this time as well, just because of everything I was going through. And the song that was on, it was about, I'm pretty sure it was Beethoven. It was his, like, he wrote his own, like, requiem, like, before he died. And it was about him dealing with death. So I'm like, oh, great. Now I got to think about this shit while I'm trying to enjoy it, like a concert, whatever. So I'm just like listening, and I'm like, this is beautiful. And I look over, and the stained glass window that I'm like right in line with, like in the next row, has a quote from the Bible. And it was like, my child, come to me. I'm always here waiting or something. Ooh. And then I remembered what I dreamt about, what I was asking the night before. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, wait a second. I asked, I'm at a church. I never go to church. Like, what is happening? Like, now the stained glass window's talking to me. So now I'm like, the song about death. So I was like, okay, like, I can take a hint. Do you know that right after COVID, I tried to go to that church again to like revisit the window because I forgot exactly what it said, and the church exploded. The church blew up.
What?
And my friend was there when it happened. He was like walking down the street. He told me about it. They had like some kind of fire and something blew up, and then the church burned down. And I had passed it so many times. Well, it was like a shell of itself.
Story.
Yeah, a great story, but also ask. People don't realize that spirit, God, the divine source, the universe, very accessible. You are the universe anyway, so you're part of it. Just ask. Stop worrying about it. You don't need a priest. You don't need me. You don't need anyone to communicate. Like whoever will hear you. I promise.
Yeah, no intermediary needed.
No, I mean, it helps.
Go direct.
For business, it helps. You do need us.
Go direct after you've been with us, and then you can go direct. So actually, Joe, what about that? We got brave and asked you about the possibility of doing a little reading here.
You did. It was very courageous of you ladies.
Well, we were a little nervous.
Of course, we could do a little reading.
You don't mind? That would be so special. And we thought our listeners might like to listen.
I'm just going to tune in real quick, just see who I get. We'll see who it's for. I'll try to hit both of you real quick, but we'll see what happens. As you know, we don't control, what who comes through, what comes through. So Jane, I'm going to talk to you first, actually.
Yes.
Bottom of my screen here. I will say I do have a woman coming through first on the other side. Very, very strong, like mother figure or mother energy. So for me, that would be mother or grandmother. But I gotta say, it really could be mom because she feels so connected to you, like you're hers. So is mom crossed over?
No, this would be a grandmother, but I understand it.
But it's got to be a grandmother you either live with, attached at the hip, like right on right, like you're hers.
I lived with her. Mm-hmm.
Say no more. There we go. But so funny. She almost claims you as if you're more hers than your mom's. I know that's so silly to say, but that's how your grandmother is. I do think she wants to talk about your mother today. But the one thing I will say to validate, because I always like to get a little validation first, your grandmother showed me a bunch of glasses. I don't know if they're sunglasses or like just reading glasses, but do we have like a few of her like pairs of glasses still or something? Or did she have glasses for like every occasion? We had like a different, it feels a little bit like a funny I don't want to say a diva moment, but I feel like I got different moments. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, she was cool, man. She had
Yeah.
all kinds of cool. She accessorized for sure. Yes,
I'll
I
take
recognize the glasses. Yes, I do.
as long as you want to, because she showed me them lined up, and I'm like, oh, I feel like I got one for a barbecue, maybe one for the store. I don't know. But again, they might have been reading like glasses too, not just like a sunglass. Anyway, I think she's just trying to show her personality. Still like that, by the way. You're a real
100%.
Also, do we have like a Dot or a Dottie or Dorothy or something?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
That would be her
sister.
Yes.
Her sister is like Aunt Dot, like that?
Yeah, Dottie,
Who's
yep.
passed though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Please know these two are hanging out on the other side.
Oh.
Very funny combo, these two.
Very.
You know what they showed me, which I think is so hysterical. I don't even know how they know what this is. Do you remember the what was it called? The Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie? Do you remember that from the 2000s?
Yeah.
They showed me that as if that's almost their dynamic. Like, I don't know why.
That is incredibly funny. That is so charming.
It's very charming. They're very funny together, these two. But like menace. You know what I mean? Like a menace together.
I found that out later, but yes, that's right.
Oh, you did find it out. Okay, very good. But yes, please know that her and Aunt Dot still raising hell. Just saying. Okay, so they do want to talk about your mother, though. So mom's still here, you said, right?
Yes.
You know, your mom, I feel like is doing all right. Mm-hmm. But I do have to say, I feel like we are just coming out of either a little bit more of a difficult time, or like, is mom like just recovered from some kind of injury or illness or something? Or like, I feel like I almost want to say like finally stable, or like I can exhale a little bit, like, okay, like we're good. So do you know what they're talking about? If in like the last year or so, mom's had some stuff that we've been a little nervous about, or do you understand that?
Yeah, it's I think it's more to do with her husband, but it's been a whole thing. So I understand that. Yeah.
If she's got illness around her, I will accept that. Okay. I will say though, there is a lot, and I'm sure with her age, this is not surprising, but I do feel from your grandmother and your aunt, they are showing me a lot around like mobility and getting around, possibly slowed down or having a little bit of a leg issue.
Yes,
I'll
true.
take it if that's with her husband, but I think this is more about mom.
Okay.
And just making sure we watch her, make sure she stays speedy or something. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here with that.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure. Yeah.
Can I ask you a funny question? I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to say it before I forget it. Is your mother like, does she try like random recipes from the internet or something sometimes? Or like why do I feel like I could like walk into the house and like she made some random thing and you're like, where the hell did you learn how to make, you know, I don't know, enchiladas or something? Like, what do you talk? Like, where'd you get this? Like, we're Irish. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like random things. You know what your grandmother's talking about?
Well, she's doing this really weird food thing right now that the recipes are odd. So
They're odd.
I do. Yeah.
I'll take it. Like, you know what? So I'll use an example. It's like, so I'm Italian, right? So my family's always making like a chicken cutlet, lentils, pasta, whatever. I randomly feel like I go to her house and I'm like, what is like chicken vindaloo doing in the refrigerator? You know what I mean? Like just would never like know how to like random. Please know what she's doing, like making odd recipes or just cooking in a way like no one in your family ever has before. Your grandmother and your aunt are almost making fun of her for it. They're like, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? They're very funny, these two. Like plus a little bit.
Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. It is an extremely odd scenario. What's happening right there?
Thing. Jane, your mom. I kind of feel your grandfather there too. By the way, like kind of joining in the fray. But I feel like I haven't seen him for a really long time. So I don't know if he passed.
That's true. I wasn't.
Like,
I don't know him.
There a long time.
True that. That's right.
But knows you and is around. There's also a Jim or a James. I'll even take Jamie. I don't know who that would be in that family there. I got it when your grandfather came through. So if you didn't know him, it might be hard to place, but just keep it there. You don't have to figure it out right at this moment. You know, stuff clicks. They said your mom is pretty much okay, but they just want you to make sure we're watching the mobility stuff. I think it's specifically hip related. Not that she's going to fall, but like a joint thing with the hip. Maybe like there's a cartilage issue. She needs a cortisone. Like,
Joe, you're totally right. Yeah, she's totally had a hip thing. It was terrible for like a year. Oh my God, dude. Yes. Apologies.
That's
this
okay.
is a great example of what do we call the sitter? Just being an idiot. Yes. It's been a hip thing for a freaking year. 100%.
Yeah, we gotta.
Thank you.
Got to take care of the hip thing. I feel like that's something that's not going to stay the same or get better over time. We're going to have to do something about it.
Yep.
You know what?
Okay.
It's not her mom is stubborn. I mean, you might say she is, but that's not what they're showing me. It's more like she just hasn't found the time. Like, that's what I feel like. She's worrying about other people first. You know what I mean? Like, once this person's okay, once this situation's over, then I'll go get this taken care of because I can't be, laying down for 6 weeks or whatever. But then another thing crops up, so we're pushing it out and we're pushing it out. So I can't.
Oh my gosh.
We can't yell at mom, but we could yell at her a little bit.
We can lovingly invite her to do it.
Lovingly insist, maybe. we'll say that.
That's so good. Okay.
Which one of you is doing the remodeling? I don't know if, Sarah, I'm switching to your energy, but I keep hearing about, like, I don't know, I'm changing a room, I'm remodeling something. Not the whole house, but...
Would absolutely love to, but I'm not. The
desire
is there.
The design is there, too.
The desire.
The desire.
Yeah, kind of.
The desires, I'll take that. Sarah, I'm specifically seeing the back of your house or possibly even like a patio or the backyard. Is that what you're hoping to do? Is it like either the back room or the outside?
Yes. Can understand that for sure.
It might even be like the room that leads out to the back of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that room, like a den / like patio pool. I'm hearing, I don't know who I'm hearing this from. We're going to figure it out in a second. But I am hearing that that's going to happen in the next couple of years. So if you're feeling like that's a pipe dream, it's not. It will happen.
Yay! Joe, you just made me so happy.
Just got to move a couple of pieces around. That's all. Sarah, it's so funny. I do feel like, and Jane, please know your grandmother and your aunt always around you. Your grandfather too, like bodyguards. Truly, they're around.
Aww.
And your mom. Sarah, do we have either dad that's crossed, or possibly even like an uncle? Because I get like a father, but not grandfather. So
uncle.
That you knew though, correct? We knew the uncle?
No, but I know him now.
He comes through a lot.
If he comes through a lot, I'll take it. Because he did say, I know her, which is usually my symbol for when people knew each other in life. But if you're doing this work all the time and around mediums constantly and like he's coming through a lot, I'll take it. I'll accept that. It's a special case. Your uncle is the one reporting this information, along with, again, like another grandmother energy. I do feel her somewhere in the back. I'm assuming it would be his mom if they're coming together.
Yes.
What the hell does this mean? Do we have an issue with the wrong kind of grass growing in somebody's house? Like we're trying to have a nice lawn and there's like crabgrass or onion grass. I know that sounds so weird. They literally showed me like onion grass, leeks. Yep. I don't know.
I've got that going on in the backyard. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Is your backyard kind of a mess? Like with the lawn? Like I don't want to.
Yeah, right. Yes, today. Yes, it is.
Okay, as long as you understand what they're talking about.
Do.
But please know your uncle is mainly the one who's giving this information about the remodeling. Sarah, you're married or living with a partner?
Yes, married.
Because I feel like the thing that's getting in the way of this remodeling might be whoever you're married to, or like I don't know if like that person wants to hold off for a minute. Or would like to be making a certain amount of money before we do all. Like, I feel like it's not you, it's the other person. And they're just showing me in the next couple of years, things will line up where eventually you'll get the okay, and then done. Like, you fork over the funds and I'll do it, and you don't have to think about it again. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the vibe.
Thanks, Uncle.
Sarah, do we have forgive me for not knowing the exact name here, but do we have like a Dinah, Diana, Diane even? Who's that?
Well, my middle name's Diane.
Oh, your middle name is Diane. And that's not after anyone, though, correct? That's
no, but I also have a mom named Donna.
You know what? Normally, a DN name is a DN name. But I think I'm talking about your middle name for some reason.
Okay.
It really felt like a Diana, like that. Hold on a sec. It's so funny. Your uncle said, I just want her to know that I'm around her. Literally, he's like, I just wanted to validate. So I'll take it. But your life feels pretty good to me right now. I'm not really worried about too much. I feel like you're doing your thing. I will say my guides even jumped in and they said you're in a little bit of a, like a pinball machine when you have to kind of like pull back before you launch. And it's sort of feels like nothing's happening. That's sort of where you are right now. Like if you feel a little bit like, all right, like things aren't moving. We're in the, like, we're pulling back to launch. So if you're feeling stuck or like, when the hell's this going to happen? It's coming. You know what I mean? Like, things are going to move forward. It's just going to, we're prepping, we're getting things ready. You know what I mean? So don't look at it like you're stuck, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yes.
Sarah, I keep wanting to call you Diane. It's so funny. Your middle name.
I'm Sarah Diane. Yeah.
Yeah, it has such a strong. I don't know if you've ever done your numerology or what the deal is with the name, like where you even got the name Diane, but it resonates with you for some reason. Anyway, but yeah, you guys, your families are around. They're hanging out. Your uncle, your grandmother, they're watching everybody.
Super sweet. That's such
Super
good news
awesome.
about your remodel. This is a big topic, Joe. This is a big deal.
We talk about this a lot, the remodel.
Yeah.
Well, she has a lot of kids and needs more
I have a
rooms.
lot of kids in a little tiny house, and we've run out of space.
Oh, I understand. All right, well, listen, your husband's got to get on it. Whatever the requirements are, you better hurry up. No, it'll happen. A year or two, I think. It's like not right.
Oh, that was beautiful, Joe. Thank you so
good.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, spectacular readings.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, we didn't give much feedback, but as a sitter, you're not supposed to give lots of feedback.
No, you were perfect.
But it resonated so deeply, and it made my day. It really did.
Happy. I'm
sorry. Yeah.
To make a day. That's awesome.
Yeah. So super talented. You are
so fun.
Such a talent, Joe.
It's wonderful to have you demo for us and our audience, because the way that you go about it is very helpful. Like your rhythm and your patter, I don't know what we call it, but like that's just a great thing to witness. How you handle like when it doesn't fit, and when, that was all really great. And especially because, I mean, my mom is going to listen to this and be like, dude, I've been on the couch for like 8 months. Like, how did you not get the hip? Like, what is wrong with you? Know what I mean? But it's so helpful to notice when someone's having total amnesia in the middle of the like. So that was so good. Thank you. And I just love when my grandmother comes through. She and Sarah have a very deep relationship, having never met.
You know what's funny? I almost was going to talk to you from her, and then I feel like she let your uncle in, but really quickly I was like, I feel like, I don't know, like she is around you too. But I didn't say it because I was like, let me focus on who's actually coming through here. But I did note. I was like, wow, your grandmother's involved in everything.
Marsha. Yep, she is. That was just incredible.
Thank you.
Well, so it sounds like you're in a transition where you're getting back out there, as you said. And so we, full support.
Gratefully, so grateful. I've always been busy, even during COVID and everything. But now that I'm fully virtual, I'm so technologically not good. So I'm really just working on being better about it. In the last month or so, I have been I've been getting so many signs from the universe about it, and I'm really trying to post more and do more lives and connect with people. And I'm doing more in person now. I wasn't doing in person for so long. And then after 2 years of COVID, I could have gone back to it, but I'll be honest, I'm a lazy person. So if I just wear my pajamas, today I actually have jeans on, you can't see, but usually I'm literally on my phone doing whatever in sweatpants or my shorts or my underwear if it's a really hot day. But today we have jeans on, we're fully clothed. But I just got so comfortable sitting on my couch, sitting at my my desk or whatever. But then I did a group in person one day at my friend's store in New York. She has a metaphysical shop uptown. And I think it's on 96th or 94th, called My Little Magic Shop. It's incredible. Everyone check it out. And I did a group there, and this woman was walking by, and she didn't know what the store was. She thought it was an art gallery. And when she knocked on the door, I was just about to start, and my friend ran, and she was like, I'm sorry, I can't let you in. We're doing a mediumship thing. And the woman was like, oh, can I come? So my friend was like, I guess, if you want to pay, what I think it was $40. So the woman was like, yeah, I have cash here. This woman was the only person in the audience who really needed a reading. Her daughter, who was
perfect,
away less than a year before. She had some kind of crazy medical complication. This woman needed it so bad, and the reading was just so good, and everyone got to witness it. And I was like, these random things can't happen virtually. No one's going to just stumble into your Zoom group reading. You have to reserve it. You got to get a link. You have to buy a ticket.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? You can't come last minute. It's not like the type of thing where if you're going to a group at someone's house and somebody's cousin's kid gets sick and they can't come and you invite the neighbor and then they really needed a message. Like, so I was like, you know what? I'm kind of missing the magic of the in-person stuff a little bit, and just the randomness and how the universe can work with that to make things sort of happen. So I've been trying to make myself more available in lives, you know, because that's a way random things can happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in person. So I've been kind of putting myself back out there, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm not being lazy. I can be, but I'm not. This week I'm going to Jersey. I'm driving 2.5 hours to do a retreat, to do readings there. So I'm doing it. I gotta stop.
Well, you keep doing it, Joe. You're amazing, and we just adore you. We love you so much.
Oh, you guys are great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out with us, and thank you for giving us the beautiful reading, and also just for doing what you do, and just being such a it's just a delight to have you in the medium sphere.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? Like it's just I love seeing you there, being your authentic, adorable self, and kind of kicking ass at this craft. So thanks, Joe.
Thanks. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, come on back sometime.
Yeah, whenever you want me, I'm here.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Very Soul is our sponsor for Medium Curious. Jane and I are both Very Soul mediums.
Oh, yes, we are. Verysoul.com, y'all. Inspired by spirit, guided by love, and brought to life by mediums. Medium Curious is made possible
by Jane Morgan Editing.
Sarah Rathke made the amazing music. Mixed by Podcast Engineers.
And you can help Medium Curious by downloading the episodes
and following our socials. And the dogs under the desk in Hawaii are Kalea and Domino.
And Trixie in California.